Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. So I had a pretty annoying little Tesla anomaly this week. I'm going to share with you guys my experience. Maybe you've seen something similar to it, maybe not. Maybe you can learn from my experience. Either way, I'm gonna share with you what I found. So I'm moving around a project in the shop the other day, and I had driven it onto the hoist that it's at maybe about a week and a half prior to that. And I went to fire it up to move it out of the way. I was working on something else and the contactors wouldn't close. Super strange because I did drive it to the hoist and everything seemed fine. So I grabbed my laptop, pulled a couple of logs off the CAN bus, and what I found was in the span of 20 minutes, now mind you, the power was unhooked for a week and a half, so it did take a little bit of time to readjust. In the span of 20 minutes, between grabbing two different logs off it, the state of charge went from 57% to 3%. So that's obviously why the contactors didn't close, but that's not enough information to tell me exactly what the problem is. Obviously it's a problem with the battery, but we had to dig a little bit deeper into it. So I'm going to show you what I found in the CAN logs first off. I have already ripped the battery back out of this in an effort to diagnose it further, but let me take you for a quick walk into the shop and I'll show you some CAN logs first and then what I found in this battery. Okay, out to the laptop first. If I can get this camera to focus. Okay, this is my CAN bus data. So this is the log that I pulled off of it. What I'm going to do is, this is all of the CAN bus data, so I'm only looking for individual cell voltages. So we only want this CAN address. I have already loaded my DBC file in here, so I will interpret that, expand these rows out. Okay, so what you can see here is these are our cell groups and you can see our cell voltages. So that group is a parallel group of, in this case, 31 cells. And that group of 31 cells is sitting at that 4.1 volts. So we scroll down here, monitoring these cell voltages. You can see here, cell 96, 0, these are registering 0 volts. It starts at cell group 0, so this would be cell 96, and that's the last reporting one. These ones are all just non-existent, but what we're looking for here is any sort of anomaly. We come to everything staying pretty normal till we hit this guy right here. Cell group 37 is reading 1.5 volts. So everything else is pretty darn close in voltage, and bam, right there, 1.5 volts. So tells us a couple of things. Number one, that's a problem. This tells me it's in cell group 37. So this tells me it's in module number 2 in this battery pack because there is 24 cell groups in every module. So this would be module 2. So it identifies the module that the problem is in and the cell group that in fact is the problem. So I tried the logical thing of cursing at it for a day or two, and that didn't seem to help it at all, surprisingly. So I figured I might as well get this battery out and see if there's anything that can be done about it. Now, I did take the battery out. This is the module sitting on the floor. There's module 2, I've already stripped out of it. So you can see we've got 1, 2 blank, 3, 4. Stripped out module 2. Everything looked completely normal on the top side. So I have the module sitting here on the ground. This will focus. And I did identify that group 37. So I've taken off that, that blue slime off of it. And I did in fact meter all 31 cells. They are 1.5 volts. So in an effort to diagnose this, I figured the first thing I'm gonna have to do is charge this up. Now, how in the earth do you charge one group of a 96 series battery? What I got going on here is my bench power supply. All right, chill out. So, what I got going on here is my bench power supply. I've got hooked directly to that series. Now, I've got this in constant current mode. I'm feeding it with 4.2 volts, so I am charging. And I'm monitoring the current. I'm only charging at maybe 0.8 of an amp, 0.9 amps, somewhere around there. So we're still under 1 amp. So my first idea was I would charge this up and monitor temperatures of the cell and see if I could come up with a reason why that bank would have bled off that voltage. Now really there's only a few reasons it can do that. Either a cell itself is bad, something has internally gone inside one of these cells, or the BMS itself, the board has gone bad and it is drawing down that one section. What I did end up finding, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this yet, but anybody who's taken one of these packs apart, let me know what shoot me a comment, let me know if you've ever seen something like this. The only thing that I can come up with so far is I have one cell. Let me see if I can get this to focus. I found a little bit of corrosion on the top of the cell. So if you can see that there, the top of the cell, it's a little bit of corrosion on it. It almost looks like the cell itself is leaking, and it was a little kind of a brown spot in this insulation stuff. So once I got that insulation scraped off of there safely, that's what I was left with. Now it looks as though that corrosion has kind of bridged, or had bridged, a little bit between this collector plate and the cell itself. You guys ever seen anything like that? Have you had any luck trying to put one of these back into service? Yeah, shoot me a comment, let me know. I am gonna charge this up fully. Maybe it'll take even overnight. If I can get this up to the same voltage as the other cell groups, otherwise I'm just asking for trouble putting it back in with cell imbalances. So I'm gonna get this thing charged back up. I might put it back in the car and then see if I can make this thing work again. Yeah, that's an irritation. Let me know if you've ever seen anything like that. All right, thanks guys. I'll let you know if I can successfully get this thing back up and running. Thanks a lot.